Greetings, YouTube. If you hadn't figured out yet, I'm a reader. I've also got a clutter problem. I know this. I'm working on it. But you notice the bookshelves behind me are full of books. I've got another one over here. I've got a stack right there. There are other bookshelves in other rooms. There's another 3 in that room right there. We've got like 22 or 23 bookshelves in my house, and all of them have books. All of them are almost full. I've gotten much better at getting rid of them. I keep far fewer books than I used to, which is good, but I have lots of books. And I'm definitely against the concepts of banning books. And one of the things you hear about the controversy when it comes to banning books is that you'll get rallying cries and people all up in arms about them. But a lot of the people that are involved in that, we want to ban these books, don't know why they're being banned. They don't understand why they're being banned. They're being banned because somebody told them that they should be banned, someone that they follow, someone that they potentially respect. Could be a political leader, could be a religious leader, could be some, pundit on a radio or a television or a podcast. And they're being told that this is a bad book, so this bad book needs to be banned. And I heard a great comeback recently, or I read it because I was poking around the internet, which is one of my representations of my ADHD, constant and unending desire for information. It's a thing I do. I prowl around constantly looking for different things to read and to find and to ponder. And they said, okay, somebody handed them a list and said, I want these books banned from, this particular library. And the person looked at the book list and said, okay, handed it back to him, said, I want you to go read these books and then give me page and a quote that you think is the reason the book should be banned, and an explanation for why that should be banned for every single one of those books. Funny thing, the guy never came back. Why? Because they don't know what's in those books. They don't read books. They don't understand what's in books. They don't understand the idea that books can expand one's mind, help one to see the world through in ways that you could never, ever have otherwise experienced. I could read about what it's like to have lived 1,000 years ago. Not because just a historian told me that's very good, but I can read the words of the people who lived then. I can read the words of ancient Greek and Roman scholars, the biographies of Roman generals. I can read the words of people who survived brutal attacks because of racism or because of sexism or because of nationalism, who are long gone, but their words still echo through history. I can read the words of my contemporaries through articles, through blog posts, and the books they write and they present to the world. I can expand my way of thinking by not only knowing about history, but knowing about science, knowing about sociology, psychology. Right now I'm reading a book about the basics of science. It's kind of an overview thing. I wanted to see how well the author is accomplishing that task. She keeps cracking jokes in a way that I think she's really trying for like the dad joke champion of the universe. But the book overall is quite entertaining and informative, and there's a good overview overall, because I've read lots of these topics to far deeper than she's going. But it's nice to get a refresher course, and it's nice to read someone else's perspective. I will read the same topic written by a dozen different people. Why? Because one of those people is going to explain something in a way that none of the rest did, that's going to click. Let me give you an example. As you approach the speed of light, you gain more mass. That is a statement I read 1,000 times, and it made absolutely no sense to me. I understand that there's math behind it. I understand that there's research. I understand that there's 1,000 PhDs behind it, but the statement didn't click in my brain. It just didn't make any sense to me. Then I encountered somebody that said, You have one big block of energy. And that energy can be expended by moving something through space or through time. And the more faster it goes, the slower it goes as far as perception for that object. And the slower it goes. So if we're just at the classic rest state, you're moving through space and time at the same speed. Essentially, your energy levels are the same. But as you go faster and faster and faster, the time dilation effect kicks in until you finally get to the point where you can't go any faster because you've hit the maximum speed of light limit because your tank down here is empty. You've put all of the energy into moving through space. So now there's no more space, the energy to move through time. You just can't go any faster. You're going to be preserved forever. You're trapped in that moment. You're essentially a photon at that point. But yeah, clicked. Bingo. I suddenly understood it. It was awesome. It was revelatory. I was thrilled. How did I get exposed to that? By reading a dozen different writers on the same topic, until finally one of them explained it in a way that clicked for me. And people that want to ban books will never experience that. They're not going to read a dozen different writers all talking about the same topic to find the one that explains it in just the right way that really meshes with the way they think and they look at the world. They're only going to read the things that they're told to read by those people I mentioned, the politicians and the religious leaders or the people that they hear on radio or TV or podcasts. And lots of those things are biased in a very bad way. Not peer-reviewed. No cliff notes at the end telling you how to do your own research if you want to find out where the information that's supposed to put into this book came from. Nah, doesn't happen. They're just going to give you a worldview that has already been prepackaged for them and that they probably already believe in anyway. And this is just going to reinforce that. There isn't going to be any revelation. There isn't going to be an expansion of their thinking or the way they see the world, which is what books should do, even if they're fiction, because they can, again, help you see the world in a different way, help you understand someone else's thoughts and feelings in a manner that you could not because they are not your thoughts and feelings, and you've never experienced those thoughts and feelings. But suddenly you can get inside someone's head, literally inside somebody's head, and read what they think and feel, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. They can still help you understand the world. And that scares the living crap out of social conservatives. Because if you understand the world, you're going to come to realize that reality has a liberal bias. And social conservatism is a death cult. So they want to ban the books. They don't want you to be expanding your mind. They don't want you to pull back the curtain and see what's there, which is that social conservatism is a death cult. No. They don't want that. So they just want to have that little list they want banned, not knowing why, not understanding what's in those books, not comprehending how much information that they're throwing away. Remember that great film clip of the Nazis burning books that has been shown a million times whenever the topic of book banning comes up? Do you know what they were burning? Books on gender and sexual research. The idea that people aren't just heterosexual, that people aren't just cisgender. That's what they were burning. New information that went against social conservatism. Don't forget that. Whenever somebody wants to burn a book, they're always in the wrong. That's not the answer. I even want to keep the bad books around, not because I want people to believe in them or support them, because I want people to see them, understand the horrors that social conservatism will visit upon us if we let them. So let's not let them.